Have you ever found yourself in a conversation confidently using an English word, only to notice a puzzled look on your listener's face? Maybe you've practiced your pronunciation, watched videos, and repeated words over and over, but you still wonder, am I saying this right? Don't worry, you're not alone. English can be tricky, especially because so many words look simple but sound completely different from how they're spelled. Today, let's explore 10 common English words that many learners, and even native speakers, often mispronounce. We'll break down why they're tricky and how you can say them correctly. So next time, you'll speak with confidence. First up is comfortable. It looks straightforward, but many people say comfortable, pronouncing every letter clearly. In everyday English, though, it's much shorter. Kuhmftar-bull. Notice how the middle syllables almost disappear. Instead of 4 clear parts, native speakers often squeeze it into 3. Try saying, I want a comfortable chair, and let the word flow naturally. Don't stress each syllable. Relax your mouth and let it blend together. Next, let's tackle vegetable. You might be tempted to say vegetable, pronouncing all 4 syllables, but in natural speech, it's vegetable. The E in the second syllable disappears, making the word much quicker. Imagine you're in a restaurant, and the waiter asks, would you like a side of vegetables? Say vegetables, and you'll sound just like a native speaker. Now consider Wednesday. At first glance, it seems like Wednesday, but that extra nez is silent. The common way to say it is Wednesday. The D and N blend together, skipping the middle sound. If you're scheduling a meeting, say, let's meet on Wednesday, and practice letting the words slip off your tongue. Another word that catches people off guard is often. You might hear people pronounce the T saying off 10, but most native speakers say AW fen. The T is silent. Both pronunciations are technically correct, but AW fen is more common in casual conversation. Next time you want to say, I often read books, try dropping the T and listen for the difference. Let's move on to pronunciation. This word is especially confusing because its verb form is pronounce, with an O sound. But when you say pronunciation, it's pronunciation, not pronunciation. That little vowel switch can trip up even advanced learners. Remember, it's none, not noun. Practice saying, my pronunciation is improving, and focus on that middle syllable. Receipt is another word that doesn't follow the rules you might expect. The P is silent, so it sounds like rye-seat. If you say rye-seeped, you're adding an unnecessary sound. Next time you buy something and get a slip of paper, say, here's my receipt, and skip the P completely. The word kernel is a favorite for confusing pronunciation. Looking at the spelling, you might think it's colonel, but the actual pronunciation is kernel, just like the part of a popcorn. English borrowed this word from French, and the spelling never caught up with how we say it. If you're talking about a military rank, say, the colonel gave an order, and remember it rhymes with journal. How about debt? The B is silent, so it's pronounced det. Saying debt with a B sounds awkward. Next time you talk about money, say, I need to pay off my debt, and focus on the smooth single-syllable sound. Quinoa is a popular food that often trips people up. The spelling suggests quinoa, but the correct pronunciation is quinoa. It comes from a South American language, so English kept the spelling but changed the sound. If you're ordering a salad, say, I'd like the quinoa salad, and you'll impress your friends with your pronunciation. Finally, let's look at mischievous. Many people add an extra syllable, saying mischievous, but it's actually mischievous. Only 3 syllables, not 4. If you're describing someone who likes to play tricks, say, he's a mischievous boy, and let the word roll off your tongue. Why do these words trip us up? English is full of borrowed words, silent letters, and sounds that don't match the spelling. Sometimes the way a word is written reflects its history and not how it's actually spoken today. The important thing is not to feel embarrassed. Everyone makes mistakes, even native speakers. The more you listen and practice, the easier these tricky words become. So, how can you improve your pronunciation? First, listen to native speakers, watch movies, listen to podcasts, and pay attention to how words are said in real conversations. Don't rely only on spelling. Second, break words into syllables and practice the rhythm. For example, With comfortable, say it slowly. You're. Speed it up until it feels natural. Third, record yourself and compare your pronunciation to native examples. Sometimes you don't notice a mistake until you hear yourself. Remember, English is a living language, and it's okay to stumble as you learn. The goal isn't perfection, it's clear communication. Every time you master a tricky word, you build more confidence. If you ever get stuck, ask someone to repeat the word, or look it up online and listen to the audio. There's no shame in learning. And here's a tip. Don't stress about every detail. If someone understands you, you're doing great. Over time, the sounds and rhythms of English will become familiar. Focus on communicating your ideas and enjoying the process of discovery. To recap, here are the 10 words and their common mistakes. 1. Comfortable, not comfortable, but comfortable. Tone of vegetable, not vegetable, but vegetable. 3. Wednesday, not Wednesday, but Wednesday. 4. Often, with a silent T and 5. Pronunciation. Pronunciation, not pronunciation. 6. Receipt, with a with a silent of P. 7. Colonel, not colonel. 8. Debt, a date with a silent B. 9. Quinoa, not quinoa. 10. Mischievous, not mischievous. Keep practicing, keep listening, and don't be afraid to ask questions. Every word you master brings you closer to fluency and confidence in English. Remember, mistakes are just stepping stones on your journey. Celebrate your progress and enjoy every new word you learn. Happy speaking!